Somebody come and look at this right quick. Fam, y'all see that? He's acting like that because they put an ankle monitor on him. Imagine how he's going to act when they put him back on that plane and send him back to Haiti. This is why I can't take y'all folks serious. You talk all that Haitian pride. Y'all don't want to go back to y'all country? Because it looks like this, right?
Violence as armed gangs sweep across several northern neighbourhoods in Haiti's capital. More than 40 were treated for gunshot wounds in just 12 hours. 500 residents have been forced to flee their homes with little more than the clothes on their backs.
During the shooting, I fled with a baby. My husband was running, and I was running with him. He went back to get some clothes. While he was getting the clothes, they killed him inside the house.
I'm not even trying to be funny or belittle y'all. But when you got Haitians that saying things like this right here.
Piggyback off what I said earlier. A lot of those jobs, the white folks don't want to do them. The black Americans don't want to do them because they're lazy. Do you know who comes to this country and do all these jobs? It'd be the Mexicans, the Haitians, and all of the above. But then again, I see a lot of folks, especially black Americans, that says, oh, they're stealing all jobs. You didn't even want to work anyway to even begin with. Y'all don't even fucking work to even begin with.
It's hard to have empathy and sympathy for you. I'm tired of her like, he can't speak for us. He can't speak for everyone. But none of y'all publicly checked him. Or the rest of the Haitians that talk like that. And it's unfortunate that you have to go back to your country and live in those conditions. But no, it's even worse when you're so cowardly. You won't even call out the people like Megan Kelly that told you to do this right here.
This has been going on for over a dozen years. Go home. Get out. We know our country's better than yours. That's because we filled it with our work ethic and our culture and our values. You being here only dilutes it for us, those who built it and live it. And half of you people, more than half, you won't assimilate. We don't want you. We don't care if you're offended. Get out. Go home. Go back to fucking Haiti.
This with all sincerity. I hope that y'all can invoke your ancestor spirit that helped them defeat the French. I hope that
TPS ended for Haitians, yet all the Haitians are still here, and Trump supporters are furious. They want to know where the bus is, where are the planes. Well, here's the part they just don't get. The United States has been recently sending roughly one deportation flight a month to Haiti. The last reported flight carried a little over 100 people. At that pace, trying to move 350,000 Haitians, whose TPS just ended, will take several centuries. Not 100 years, several hundred years. Now, we read in the paper that they want to do at least 2 flights a week, 250 people back to Haiti. Even if we use those numbers, at that pace, moving 350,000 Haitians who just lost their TPS will take 27 years. So why are those planes not landing? Why are those planes not going? Because basically Port-au-Prince is a war zone. Every plane that lands in Port-au-Prince gets shot at by gangs. The captains and stewardesses and everybody else on this plane, they got nowhere to stay. They can't sleep on a plane. So all the planes are going to a much smaller airport in a different city called Cap Haitian. And the maximum the U.S. has figured that they can do securely is 2 flights a week. So ending this TPS, by the way, did not create 350,000 deportation orders that you can just go pick people up and deport them. Now, there are a few Haitians who have final orders of deportation. Those people are easy to move. But a vast majority, they all require a deportation hearing. They're all going to file for asylum when they get into removal. Those asylum cases are going to take years to process because the immigration courts right now are backed up by 2.3 million people. Now, is everyone going to win their asylum case and deportation from Haiti? Of course not. Everyone's going to say generalized gang violence, instability. That doesn't make asylum because you have to be persecuted personally because of a group you belong to. But all of these cases still need to be heard. These 350,000 Haitians, mark my word, are going to outlive Trump through 2028, right here. So what happens immediately? Well, TPS-based work permits have become invalid. 350,000 people have now been laid off. 350,000 people are not getting on a plane tomorrow. So you could end TPS overnight, but you can't create 350,000 final orders of deportation overnight.
Cubans in Florida are being deported in record numbers. Cubans have had a long-standing special relationship with the United States of America and have had special immigration privileges for decades now. Cubans were among some of the Latino population who supported and voted for Donald Trump at the highest numbers, lest we forget the Donald Trump song that they came up with.
Vote for Donald Trump, I love my freedom. I will vote for Donald Trump.
While Cubans held those privileges for decades, Donald Trump has changed that. According to an article by the New York Times, has repatriated more than 1,600 Cubans in 2025, according to the Cuban government. That is about double the number of Cubans who were repatriated in 2024, and in years that Trump has been president. He has sent more Cubans back than his last three predecessors. Polls, however, suggest that many Cubans who support Trump still do support Trump, but they're confused as to why they thought they would be immune to ICE raids, immune to deportation, and they really thought they were a part of the MAGA family. At the end of the day, this is one big fuck around and found out and I told you so, because you were always Latino in this country. You were never white. You were never MAGA. You were never a part of white supremacy or a part of the white national identity, my love.
I hate to say I told you so or an FAFO, you decide. Remember when Donald Trump said that Haitian immigrants were eating dogs and cats, right? Well, that wasn't a deal breaker for Haitian restaurant owner Wilkinson Ken Sejour. He voted for Trump in 2024. Now he says he regrets it after Trump's immigration crackdown scared away nearly all of his customers. When asked why he voted for Trump, here's what he said.
Given the impression, like everyone else, him being a business person, that he understands, how business is conducted and how he's able to grow and make businesses much more effective.
Now, Sejour says that his business is struggling after Trump moved to revoke temporary protected status for Haitians and ICE arrested a man just steps away from his restaurant. But I have to ask, should he really be surprised? Did he think Trump's immigration crackdown would only affect other people and somehow never reach him or his community? Because whatever else you want to say about Donald Trump, he told us exactly what he was going to do. He campaigned on conducting the largest mass deportation operation in American history. Look at the signs at the Republican convention. Mass deportation now, right? It was right there. This is a painful lesson for Sejour, but Trump told people exactly who he was and exactly what he planned to do. All they had to
Ohio has about 30,000 Haitians. Folks received a letter in the mail that told them that they had to go to this facility. They had no idea that part of going to this facility would mean that they would end up with an ankle monitor. You would get two options. You get $2,600 and a one-way ticket, or you get this ankle monitor. When these folks are wearing these ankle monitors, it monitors them and limits them. They can only travel 75 miles within their address. And to put more insult to injury, if they need to go further, they must call ICE and ask for permission. We're talking about people who have been destabilized by the United States government, destabilized by the French government, who labor has always been used as an extension of slave labor, who in 1990 thought that there was some solace with the TPS program. And now what we experience is that being taken away from workers who have been here for 30, 20 years. We're talking about workers who developed a life in the United States and pay taxes in the United States, who are now being looked at as criminals, who are now being...
A lot of Cubans in Miami and South Florida voted for Trump, understanding that his intention was to deport people. They never thought those deportations would apply to Cubans. They thought it would apply to other people because Cubans have always had an advantage in the U.S. There's something, passed by, under Lyndon Johnson's administration, the Cuban Adjustment Act, which basically gave Cubans a welcome no other immigrants had. It gave them a fast track to residency and then to citizenship. That is still the law of the land. So Cubans assumed that whatever happened generally with deportation would not apply to them because of the Cuban Adjustment Act. But in practice, the Cuban Adjustment Act is not being observed. So Cubans are being detained. They show up for regular immigration check-ins and they're being detained. They show up for asylum hearings and judges dismiss their cases, which means that they're eligible for deportation. I think it will change. It may change Cuban-American attitudes towards Trump. It made him definitely less popular. People I talk to in Miami see it. You hear it. I know it from relatives who are Republicans who voted for him, who are very unhappy with the immigration policies. So,
Hi. We've now entered the FAFO phase for Cubans. Yes, you heard me correctly. To an alarming surprise, Cubans in Florida are being deported at record numbers. Yes, Cubans, Republicans who voted for Trump, they came here under Biden, under amnesty. They did it the legal way. They're getting deported. I highly encourage you to check out an article in the New York Times. If you're brown, he's coming for you. It doesn't matter if you're here under amnesty, if you did it the right way. They don't care. So we've now entered this FAFO stage for Cubans. So they're doing it in record numbers in Florida. That's because a lot of them, that's where they live. So if you didn't know, Marco Rubio is Cuban. Yeah, he came here from Cuba. And so they're deporting them right now in record numbers. Remember when he deported Venezuelans and then he attacked Venezuela and captured their president and kidnapped him? And then, said that he cared about Venezuelans? Yeah, he doesn't care about you. So FAFO, Cubans for Trump, especially.
Almost 50,000 Cubans from the Miami area in Florida are facing deportations. That's because thousands of those Cubans filed for political asylum and were granted political asylum, except they went back and visited their homeland of Cuba. Well, the big deal is that when you file for political asylum, you're declaring that your life is in danger in your home country. And by these Cubans going back to Cuba to visit, that means that the entire process of the political asylum was fraud. The application asked for political asylum seekers to give detail of why they can't go back to their country, why their lives are in danger in their homeland. And Cubans gave those statements that their life was in danger if they ever went back to Cuba. So going back to visit Cuba after you've been granted political asylum indicates that these Cubans have been granted political asylum based on false information. Now, it's no secret, Cubans played a huge role on the re-election of Donald Trump. And a lot of them feel let down by this administration because now they're being sent back home. So I'm going to ask all the Latino community, and I will do the same, to please hold a moment of silence for the thousands of Cubans who now are going.
Haitian and Cuban from Miami, Haitian also have been having this issue of being taken back to their home, and it's been crazy, It's been painful to them, it's been hurting them every single again. And you know how much Haiti is? Haiti is so dangerous for citizens to live there. And in my own words, I feel like Haitian and Cubans don't have a place in maybe in that island. I think they will go there and cope with everything that's around there, because nobody sees them as citizens of Cuba or Haiti. So Trump is making a dangerous move by deporting these people to their countries, because I saw Cuban being taken to Mexico, and I'm like, the other day you saw Mexican government deporting every white citizen from America that was in Mexico, and it was crazy that day, because we all know that Trump is the one who always leads these people to be taken back to maybe to be deported back to another country. And we have seen America, how America doesn't like people being in America. America will vote for a leader to deport everybody from the country who don't have a document. And they never learned that they could be in any country and people would be mad at them and take them back to their home. They have seen this thing happening there, and it's happening the hard way. It's hurting them, because how can you be taken back to your home where you don't even know how it is, because you haven't been there for the past 20 years? And you have been seeing on the media, on the TV, how these things happening and how much it's destroying people living in that country. Because a country like Haiti is being controlled by gangs. People with the guns walk around with the guns, like they can shoot anybody anytime they want. People are free to hold guns in Haiti. And tell me, if Haiti is destroying its own citizen, tell me somebody who has been in America for the past 20 years, how will they live in Haiti and even Cuba? So either way, these people are in America, have been in America for the past many years. And I don't think they have a place in maybe in another country, because the way things are happening today is crazy. You don't find these things flowing the way it used to be, because people will be hurt by leaving to those countries, because the countries don't want people to be in the country, because they don't like seeing people in their countries. So Haiti is a bit dangerous for its own citizen to leave America to go and live there. I saw around the 40 years old lady, 45 around years old lady, who has been living in America for the past 30 years in America, and then she was taken back to Haiti, and her life was miserable. Her life was not like pleasing as we think. But this whole video is about Trump deporting people from America to other countries. He knows well that Haiti is dangerous for the people, but he still deport them to the country. That's why Mexico wasn't willing to host any white person from America. That's why they were sending back to the country, and it's crazy. But all in all, we know one thing is clear, that America don't like people in the country. They like them struggling, suffering, and begging for help from them. But all in all, we all want the best for everybody living in America, living in Haiti, living in Cuba, in Mexico, and all over the world. Let peace be with you. I love you. I'm out.